On the morning of February 11th, 1861, one day before his 52nd birthday, Abraham Lincoln left Springfield, Illinois to go to Washington and become the 16th President of the United States. It was a tense time. Southern states had already begun to leave the Union. Lincoln had not even been sworn into office, yet already he was facing the greatest crisis in the country's history. A special train was sent to take him to Washington. Because of death threats, he decided to leave ahead of his wife, Mary, and their youngest sons, and his family would catch up on the way. It was a cold, wintry day, drizzling rain. Lincoln rode in an omnibus, a large carriage, with some friends to the Great Western Railroad station, where the train was waiting. This is how I tell the story of that last day in Springfield in Old Abe. The size of the crowd at the little brick depot surprised him. There must have been 1,000 people huddled under a canopy of umbrellas. They let out a cheer when they saw him coming. A locomotive waited on the track, steam hissing into the drizzle, ready to pull a 3-car train festooned with flags and bunting. The crowd made a path for him to get into the station. Friends reached to shake hands and slap him on the back as he passed by. The waiting room was dank and smelled of the 100 men pressed inside to greet him. They gazed up into his craggy face and told him that they looked forward to the day when he would come back home to pass stories around wood stoves, whittle sticks on courthouse steps, and shoot marbles with boys again. Memories tore into him. Thoughts of fording prairie streams with a cavern of lawyer friends, of dried corn stalks rattling in September winds, of staying up late arguing politics in the back of Josh Speed's store, of stepping inside Chatterton's jewelry shop to buy Mary's wedding ring. He could manage little more than a thank you and bless you in response to all the goodbyes. The train bell called and it was time to go. Mary and the boys arrived just in time. He held her for a minute and then lifted Tad and Willie to kiss their cheeks. "I'll see you tomorrow," he told them. Again the crowd parted respectfully as he made his way to the tracks. More arms reached to shake hands one last time. He climbed the steps of the rear passenger car and turned to face the throng. 1,000 faces looked at him from beneath their umbrellas, waiting. Almost all of them he recognized. Mary stood with them, holding hands with Willie and Tad. The rain was turning to snow. A hush broken only by the hiss of the locomotive fell over them all. He had not planned to say anything, but the upturned faces in the gray mist touched something deep inside him. Here were neighbors who had trusted him to draw up their wills, draft their laws, secure their land, and make peace among their warring factions. They wanted to hear him say goodbye. He stood for a moment, head down, then raised his chin and doffed his hat. The men in the crowd uncovered their heads in the cold wind as he began to speak in choked phrases. "My friends," he said, "no one not in my situation can appreciate my feeling of sadness at this parting. To this place and the kindness of these people, I owe everything. Here I've lived a quarter of a century and have passed from a young to an old man. Here my children have been born, and one is buried. I now leave not knowing when or whether ever I may return, and with a task before me greater than that which rested upon Washington. Without the assistance of that divine being who ever attended him, I cannot succeed. With that assistance, I cannot fail. Trusting in him who can go with me and remain with you and be everywhere for good, let us confidently hope that all will yet be well. To his care commending you, as I hope in your prayers you will commend me, I bid you an affectionate farewell." 3 loud cheers rose from the tracks, along with cries of "We'll do it! We'll do it!" Bells clanged, the whistle shrieked, wheels jerked forward. The flags decorating the train stirred. Abraham stepped into the car as it pulled slowly away from the depot. Behind him, voices called through the wet snow, "Goodbye, Abe." That was the last time Lincoln was ever in Springfield, except for a few friends and colleagues who went to visit him in the White House while he was president. It was the last time the people of Springfield ever saw him alive. The next time they saw him, 4 years later, he was coming home in a casket. I'm John Cribb, and I hope you'll read my novel, Old Abe. I hope it brings Lincoln to life for you, and I hope it helps you love Lincoln as much as I do.